Hello again, everyone. This is Dennis Sullivan, Sports Snippets, Friday, the 29th of November. Great to see you. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and are enjoying a wonderful holiday weekend. I know I have 4 days off. It's almost like this is the greatest thing ever. I love I love this weekend. I love this weekend and off all day today. And oh man, it's great. It's great to be doing this in the morning. I mean, this is Friday morning. Oh boy, this is awesome. So once again, Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan, Friday the 29th of November. We're here to recap the latest Miami Dolphin game, which was a loss again to the Cleveland Browns. We've only played Cleveland once this year. This is the only time we play them, and that was a loss of the score of 41-24. So we will recap that game and then look ahead for this Sunday as well, which is the 1st of December, and that is a Sunday game against the Philadelphia Eagles. But first, let's discuss the game that has concluded just a few short days ago. With Thanksgiving and the holiday and all that stuff, usually I'm within a day or two of the game being played, if not that very same day, recapping, but a little bit later in the week this time around. But I'm glad to be here, guys, and glad to be talking to you as well about the game. Now, the result was not very, shall we say, good at all. So this was not a good result at all for the Dolphins. Really, we didn't have much of a chance. There wasn't really much of a shot that we had in this game. You got to look at it like this. I mean, Cleveland had everything to play for, as did the Bills the week before. These teams have everything to play for. Cleveland now at 5-6. They're on the outside looking in, but there's still hope. So they went out there, and credit to them. I mean, they played like a team that absolutely, positively had to win that game, and that's exactly what they did. Mainly from the way I look at it, from an offensive angle for the Browns, they really showed up offensively. They moved the ball on us. They put up, as far as statistics go, I mean, they put up all sorts of statistics and numbers and things of that nature, which propelled them to the victory. And let's get into a little bit of that. And I'd like to start, too, with the Browns. Let's get into a little bit of a breakdown of the game itself. And, I mean, guys, it's been a tough season for the Dolphins. Only 2 wins this year. In just a few moments or towards the end of this video, we'll discuss our hopes for a 3rd win this season, because there is hope to get that 3rd win, guys. But first, let's discuss a little bit about the Cleveland Browns. Baker Mayfield was absolutely outstanding. He completes 24 out of 34 passes for over 300 yards, 327 yards. He goes for 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and he's sacked only 1 time. So just like the Bills game, the defense really not creating many negative plays. I mean, we had a few more against the Browns this past weekend than we had against Buffalo, where we virtually, I don't even know if we created a negative it was one of those games, but still the offense of the Browns definitely controlled the game. Nick Chubb, 106 yards rushing on 21 carries and a touchdown. He played and performed absolutely phenomenally. I mean, he was not the difference, only because they had other guys that performed well also, but Nick Chubb was very, very effective in his role. And now, that one thing I forget from time to time, Cleveland now has Kareem Hunt as their number 2 guy as far as carrying the football, and he also was effective with 37 yards rushing on 8 carries. Kareem Hunt also would score a touchdown in this game. So, I mean, they have a lot. They have a lot of skill, do the Browns, at the skill positions, shall we say. They have a lot going for them in that area. The 1-2 punch in the receiving category for the Browns absolutely destroyed us, led by Jarvis Landry. As the Dolphins out there know, Jarvis Landry used to be a Miami Dolphin, and he certainly came back to haunt us, if you will, with 10 catches, 148 yards, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's a monster game. Whenever you get 10 catches for basically 150 or 148 yards and 2 touchdowns, I mean, that is a monster performance. And you know what? If he was maybe trying to, he's trying to show his old team what he's all about and all that stuff, more power to him. It means he's a competitive player. He's a competitive pro, and he values his effectiveness and, his skill on the football field. And Jarvis Landry is a big loss for the Dolphins, but Cleveland now enjoys having him, I'm sure. That there's no doubt about that. Odell Beckham had a nice game. Okay, 6 catches for 84 yards and a touchdown. So he also comes through. Nick Chubb, we already discussed the rushing, over 100 yards, 106 yards rushing. He would also catch 3 passes for 58 yards. So if we factor that in, guys, the 106 and the 58 through the air, I mean, Chubb's looking at around 164 yards total offense between running and receiving. That is very good. So he also had a monster game. So the Browns really, I mean, those 41 points, don't let that fool you. That didn't happen by accident. They moved the football. They controlled the game offensively, I thought, and they certainly produced on the offensive end. For the Dolphins, I mean, guys, it's hard to get too critical right now. I'm just looking for another win, which, give us 3 wins this year, and let's put it to rest for the 2019 season. Let's get ready for next year, All right, Fitzpatrick, very modest numbers. He's performed well in a handful of games this year for us, but this one, 21 of 39, 214 yards. He had 2 touchdown passes. He did have 2 interceptions. The sacks, once again, were a factor. 4 sacks. Fitzpatrick, that is, was sacked 4 times. He did lead the way running, though, with 45 yards on the ground on 5 carries. So you look at a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick, I mean, he's up there in age as far as quarterbacks go, just turned 37. He has played relatively well. I mean, it's hard to measure when you consider our team, and he has definitely had a few good games. This one, not really one of them. We didn't do anything again on the ground. Guys, we have to be able to run the football. It's just ridiculous watching us trying to run the football. Kalen Ballage, 7 carries, 13 yards. I mean, he's a straight ahead kind of runner, and you're going to have tough luck trying to do that with this year's Dolphin offensive line. I mean, you just are. I can't blame Ballage. I say this almost every video. I really can't blame Kalen Ballage, but I mean, come on, guys. It's every game now. He's running right into a wall. So with 13 yards on 7 carries, you're not even hitting 2 yards a carry. You're a yard short of 2 yards a carry. Laird came in at 20 yards on 3 carries. I mean, he plays a nice little complimentary role, and he's done pretty well in that role. So, maybe that's something to look at as far as a nice, addition to our team. Maybe even looking into next year. He's a spark plug kind of guy. I mean, he gives you some energy. He gives you some positive plays. So why not? Let's keep including him. Even when Walton comes back, I'd like to see some Laird thrown into the mix to see his production continue. How about we do that? That would be a good idea. Receiving, Devante Parker. If anyone's really benefited these past few games, I mean, you really hate to say that someone's benefited from another person's injury. We had the Preston Williams injury back a few weeks ago. But Devante Parker has performed admirably in the absence of Preston Williams, and to the point where, I don't have a fantasy football program. I'm kind of debating maybe doing a few fantasy football programs. That would be fun. But Devante Parker's numbers have gone up as of late. So here again, we see a nice solid performance of 91 yards receiving on 6 catches. There's nothing wrong with that. So, I mean, that was pretty nice. Allen Hurns did score a touchdown. He had 42 yards receiving on the 4 catches. Albert Wilson, 6 catches for 33 yards. And Mike Gesicki, yes, he would score a touchdown, a receiving touchdown. Mike Gesicki, 3 catches, 28 yards, and a touchdown. Great to see. Still would like to see Gesicki with a little more yards receiving and a little more in the pass catch department. We did see the breakout game against the Jets earlier this year, but we would like to see a little bit more of that. Why not, guys? Why not? So let's move right along here to the Browns. When we look at the snippets board, everyone, item 2. I mean, number 1, Dolphins offense. No, I mean, it's just not there. It's almost like we have to have the right matchup to get the advantage in that department. Who needed it more? The Browns. The Browns clearly needed it more. Their season was basically on the line, and I think really, if you want to discuss this game along with the last game against the Bills, even though the Bills are looking really good now, I mean, the Browns needed this game, guys. They're fighting for a playoff spot, a wild card spot, and credit to them. They did what they needed to do. The Browns passing game, item 3 on the snippets board, yes. The Browns passing game was, in fact, very effective. Baker Mayfield's had a little bit of a roller coaster season. I don't follow the Browns closely at all. I mean, I follow my team, the Dolphins, but Baker Mayfield was right on point in this game. He looked really good, and that's certainly, I mean, the guy's still really young. I mean, if you're a Browns fan, you got a lot to look forward to. In my humble opinion, having Baker Mayfield as your quarterback, I mean, I would take him any day on the Dolphins. I'll take 75% of a Baker Mayfield on my team. How about this? I'll take 70% of Baker Mayfield on my team. Why don't we do that? Let's just get a 70% Mayfield guy, and I think I'm going to be happy with that. I'm pretty sure. So Brown's passing game was right there. To summarize really what I saw, again, I have to focus a little bit more on the Browns because just like the game before against the Bills, the game was all about Cleveland. It was all about the Cleveland Browns. And the Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry combo really did us in, along with the performance of Baker Mayfield. The yardage for both those players was really right there, right where it needed to be. Chubb also helping out in the receiving department. I mean, those two guys right there really, really, really did hurt the Dolphins this past Sunday. So it is what it is, guys. And then you have Odell Beckham Jr. with the nice game as well, contributing the 84 yards receiving as well with the touchdown. So wasn't our game, guys. Wasn't a very fun game to watch if you're a Dolphin fan. But you know what? We got to keep it real here. What it is. We're trying to get win number 3, and that leads me to the 5th point right here on the snippets board, item number 5. Let's discuss that, and then we'll close things out for this week. Looking ahead, here are the last 4 games for the Miami Dolphins. We have the Jets on the road, Giants, New York Giants, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Patriots. Okay, Jets are definitely on the road. Bengals, I believe, are here. Patriots are definitely on the road. Giants, I believe. The only one I'm not 100% sure of where the game's being played, I believe Giants are on the road, but I do stand corrected on that one. Guys, here's the thing. Jets losing record. Giants definitely a losing record. Bengals haven't won a game all year. Patriots are outstanding. Many feel this year, many football fans feel that this is the number 1 team going into the playoffs 2019. I'm going to say definitely top 3, probably top 2. The only reason why I'm giving you probablys and things like that is because you have Baltimore Ravens playing outstanding. San Francisco 49ers are playing outstanding. But they're right in that mix. The only reason why that Patriot game could be a possible win is because it is on the last game of the season. They may have their playoff seeding already locked up. Unless something falls apart on the Patriots the last 5 games of the season, By locked up, I mean they're either going to get a 1 or a 2 seed. So if that happens to be locked up on week 17 going in, now all of a sudden we have a chance to win that game because the Patriots will be resting their top players, I would imagine. So, but prior to that, prior to that Patriot game, it's Jets, Giants, Bengals. Just please, Dolphins, let's just win one more. Let's win one more. We're not going to get crazy saying we can win, 2 out of the last 4 or certainly 3 out of the last. We're not going to get crazy like that. Let's just win one more game. The Bengals haven't won a game all year, but is that is that game a definite win? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because you know what? The Bengals have circled that game on their schedule a while ago when they saw how miserable the Dolphins were and how bad we were playing. You just know that they circled that game, and they're going into that game basically feeling that, hey, you know what, guys, this is our shot. We can win a game. We don't want to go 0-16. We got to get a win. Dolphins are probably our best chance to do that. So that's a reality, and that's something that we have to that we just have to face. Before I leave, guys, there were a few nice performances for the Browns on defense. Demarius Randall had 5 tackles, 2 assists. Chad Thomas had 5 tackles, and the 2 interceptions that were thrown by Ryan Fitzpatrick were both picked off by the same player, Mr. Joe Schobert, 2 interceptions. So wanted to make sure I threw that in because those 3 names, Demarius Randall, Chad Thomas, Joe Schobert, did stand out to me in the game. The names do definitely ring a bell from watching the game on television. And also from looking at the box score and the statistics after the game against Cleveland. So that's where we stand, guys. I really hope you're going to have a great remainder of this holiday weekend. Remember, next Dolphin game coming up on Sunday, December 1st. And guess what? Surprise, surprise, another team for the 3rd week in a row that's gotta win the game. It's a home game against the Philadelphia Eagles. So let's just repeat real quick the last 3 games, or last 2 and the one coming up. Bills had to win that game, especially at that time a couple of weeks ago. Cleveland Browns, critical game for them. Had to win it. Now they're getting themselves back into the mix of the playoffs. And then coming up on December 1st, Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, come on, guys. If they win that game, they're tied with the Cowboys for first place in their division. The record isn't that great, 5-6, but the Cowboys are 6-6. Let's do the math. Philadelphia wins that game. It's a whole brand new season for them, going down the stretch and with the last 4 games of the season. So to say that the Eagles aren't going to be coming in to Miami on Sunday, the 1st, thinking that this is a big game for them, that's an understatement. This game is everything to them, and we have to be ready to compete. That's all there is to it, guys. We can't just keep saying, we're just playing better teams that really need to win. Now, of course, after this Philadelphia game, things do get easier. There's no doubt about that. Things will doesn't mean we're going to win another game, but things will get easier. So for now, this is Dennis Sullivan signing off Sports Snippets. It is the 29th November. Next Dolphin game coming up in 2 days to cap off this wonderful 4-day weekend. Hopefully you're off as well if you're watching this video. If not, more power to you. Make some extra money. Get some good deals out there if you're trying to get all the shopping deals done here the day after Thanksgiving. I will see you, in a few short days. Also, for those of you that follow basketball, I'll be doing a Miami Heat. Planning to do that a little bit later this weekend. We'll do a little Miami Heat update for you NBA fans out there. But for now, this is Dennis Sullivan, and I wish you a great remainder of the day. Dolphins, unfortunately, fall to the Browns, 41-24. We're now, guys, getting ready for our next game against the Philadelphia Eagles, falling to a record of 2-9. And I will see you next time. For now, you have a great day. And thanks for watching, most importantly. You have a good rest of your day.